Hello there, Tina Jessen here. We are not doing a group coaching call today with anyone live on the call this evening. Here in the UK, it is anyway afternoon in the uh, on the East Coast. But I did want to hop on and share a question that Melissa had asked on the Tea Room Secrets Facebook group, and I thought it was worth doing this as a little freebie that we'll put out onto our YouTube channel, but also we'll put inside the Business Vault so that you've got answers to this very good question. And basically, Melissa is saying, how do you charge for private parties? Do you charge a flat fee or a fee plus cost of the afternoon tea? And do you allow outside catering? What kind of deposit or contract do you require? And we got some really good answers, and obviously I'll share my own experience as well. So Alicia basically said that you do have to have very clear protocols, and by that she means contracts, and define how you operate your business. So if you are going to take a deposit, what's allowed and not allowed when people come and take up a large part or the whole part of your tea room. It is very important to do that. And if you don't do that, you soon realize you have to do something, otherwise you're going to get burned quite badly. And you will learn from that and hopefully then put something in place so it doesn't happen again. Because it's one thing to do something and you feel that, oh, I wouldn't do that again, or that's a bit of a mistake, but it's the learning from it. And then what can you do better? We used to call that the feedback loop. A little process of, if it went wrong, what can we do better next time to stop it happening again, and having good contracts in place and really helping customers understand how you do business around here is really important to do that. So Sherry, she was saying that when she has an on-site event, if it's after hours, she charges a fee of $100 plus a minimum guest requirement. Now, I've always found with a minimum guest requirement, say it's 20 guests in Sherry's case, is the minimum. If they only have 18, they still pay for the 20. And it could be that you agree that you are going to provide 20 afternoon teas, but two in this example of 18 people turning up, that the other two will be packaged up and they can be take those home. So there's not a feeling that they've cheated you in any way, or also you've not cheated them in what they're paying for. And she also charges a 20% tip, which I would recommend actually on any large party anyway, at least, yeah, I would say 18 to 20%, definitely on a larger group. During normal hours, she charges just their regular fee. But she has been burnt a few times with the actual number of guests when only half of them turn up. What we do is we make sure that we call a week in advance to make sure that the party is still going ahead. And we say that they need to give us at least 48 hours notice of any cancellation or change to number. And again, if we've got them in for 20 and only 18 show up, they'll still pay the 20. And obviously you need to make sure that people are tipping appropriately, because that is something you can get burnt upon, especially if you're structured in such a way that you are relying on tips. So Kim was saying it really does depend on what kind of business you actually run or what kind of venue you have. And certainly that idea of outside catering, I would definitely say that I would not allow outside catering, but in my business plan and in the way my business was structured, we had on-site, we had an on-site kitchen for one. We also had a baker, and we wouldn't allow for cakes to be brought in. Now, it might be that somebody's made a cake or they've bought it from somewhere else, but the challenge is, and this is how we would always describe it to someone, is if someone's taken sick and there's been some of our food and some of your food, how do we know which food has made them sick? And we can't allow that. The health department doesn't allow us to do that. And then we put them towards an option of getting a celebration cake in addition, which obviously boosts your revenue from that particular party. Or if they bring something in because they didn't know, or you hadn't told them, or they've just forgot, or were just pushing their luck, perhaps. If they brought something in, we'd say you can't consume it on the premises. So then they take it home and divide it up or cut it up and send it home with individuals in that way. We always took a deposit, and Kim was saying the same. Private parties should always have a deposit because they tend to be a bit flaky on numbers and they could cancel abruptly. But again, we would charge a $75 deposit, which would be refundable at the event. And we would have those contracts in place and make sure that we call a week in advance and the day before, just to make sure nothing's changed. Now, Patty, she was saying that in her tea house, they don't allow tables of 8 people. They learned that larger groups can be very loud and overpowering and takes some of the intimacy and the ambiance away from the tea experience. And that's how they decided they wanted to do that. But she does have a separate dining room and would charge accordingly for that. And they charge a flat rate, 3 hours for the facility, tea and food, and clean up gratuity. And they would charge 2,500 for that whole package. And that's a really good way of presenting, depending on how your space is structured. If that works for you, you might not get many of those, but when you do, that's your main focus. And it's almost like being closed for the day. And instead of having people walking in or taking reservations in 2s and 4s, you would close the tea room for reservations that day or walk-ins that day because you've already made your money on that party and they're going to take up the full tea room space that you have available. The Royal Tea Room. Anything that's booked after hours requires a non-refundable deposit. Yes, absolutely. And it's to offset the cost of the labour. Obviously, if you're going out of hours, you're going to have to charge a little bit more to pay for the staff and having your team in, but perhaps working longer hours. Maybe they're even on overtime. So that's going to cost you a lot more and you need to be passing that on. And they also don't allow any food other than maybe a specialty cake, but they don't require a contract. Usually the deposit is good enough. So you can see there's lots of different ways you can approach this. And I think you'll find something that either resonates with you, something you feel comfortable with, and you will find the right way for you in your space and what you're trying to achieve in your business. And just one thing I'd like to add is we were getting Saturdays are usually the busiest day for baby showers, bridal showers, birthday parties, but things like baby showers and bridal showers, they would want to open gifts and have trash that we'd need to take away and all those sorts of things. And we would allow 2 hours for that event. We would have an 11 o'clock slot and we would have a 1:30 slot. Each would be 2 hours long. So at 1 o'clock, and we would remind them maybe 10 or 15 minutes before we got to 1 o'clock that we really do need to wrap up their event so that we can clear and reset because we have another group coming in at 1:30, and then that would go through to 3:30, and then we'd have another half hour for cleanup, and we would be actually closing at 4. And we'd probably be clear of the tea room by, say, 4:30, and that's how we did it. But I say you do you. Find some of these ideas, look at what works for you as far as pricing and cost, and the extras that you're going to be doing and what you are going to do and what you're not going to do. And if you found this helpful, and you've just founders on YouTube. My name's Tina Jessen. I'm the founder of Tina's Traditional, the brand. We've operated tea rooms, 4 of which actually were in the USA. I now have a smaller business here in the UK since I moved back from the USA. And I run a group called Tea Room Secrets, which is a Facebook group that you can request to be a member of, completely free of charge. But also have a look at tearoomsecrets.com. That is our website where you can actually sign up to some of our free stuff. If you haven't started your tea room yet, or if you're looking to grow it, we've got a few free resources there for you. And we also have something called the monthly membership of the Business Vault. The monthly membership of the Business Vault. It's $97 per month. And you have access to everything. You have access to all contracts, equipment lists, business plans, all the documentation that I created as I was running and growing my tea room, from how to hire to all sorts of stuff on there. Go to tearoomsecrets.com. You'll see a list of all the things that we do there. But we also do a weekly group coaching session, which this would be one. But like I say, tonight we don't have anyone live with various other things going on. But it's on a Monday. East Coast Standard Time. We'd be looking at what time is it? 2 o'clock. UK time, because we do also have people from the UK and Australia and Canada and France, different parts of Europe, Hawaii, all over the place. In the UK, it's 7 o'clock in the evening on a Monday. And we say Monday because so many tea rooms are closed on a Monday. And it's a good time to be working on your business rather than in it. Anyway, my name's Tina Jessen. Pop over to tearoomsecrets.com and I may see you another time. Bye for now.